Hello and welcome to another update video about Solana. So let's start on the looking at the bigger picture. I haven't done that for a couple of days or so. The idea is still that Solana is in the yellow wave count primarily. The yellow wave count suggests that we had a wave 1 to the upside, a wave 2 to the downside. The wave 3 to the upside might be finished. We get more and more signals that the wave 4 pullback has started, and we could then get a wave 5 to the upside still. So ideally we want to get to a situation in which we form 5 waves to the upside. Okay, the 5 wave move to the upside could trigger the following targets: $71.20, even though that would be very weak, so ideally higher, $79.50, $93, and possibly 113. But first of all, let's see if we can get the other targets reached. And if we are in the wave 4, then this might take a little while to complete. The support area is indicated on the chart. We're going to see that in a minute when I zoom in. But yeah, this is broadly the idea that we have at the moment about the chart, that we are in this diagonal pattern, which is embedded in a larger ABC structure. So we have here an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave. So now we go to the shorter time frame for our chart, which shows you that the support area that we have defined here for the 4th wave pullback is between $49.50 and $34.40, whereas the $40 level would be the ideal target. Okay. Also pay attention to the ascending trend line, depending on when the price reaches that support area and maybe even comes down into this region. It might test the trend line of the channel. It is technically still possible that we get another extension higher, but at the moment it seems less and less likely, so that the 3rd wave is actually still running. That's technically still possible, but the price would need to rally in, basically an impulse from here. It's getting less likely, I would say. Okay, so the correction could definitely be ongoing, but it's also a little bit too early to confirm it fully, but it looks more and more likely. Okay, so we're just tracking here the corrective pathway at the moment, which should be an ABC structure. So let's go to the 1 hour chart. On the 1 hour chart, we completed a 3-wave move down of the highs, which I've labeled as an A wave. And now it can take a couple of pathways. So if the A wave down was made and it's a 3-wave move, then normally it's quite likely that we see a B wave that is quite aggressive, that is quite high. So if the A wave was a 3-wave move, then the B wave would likely be a larger ABC structure that could get into the region between $64.30 and $76. Typically, B waves are not recommended for trading, so I would just sort of observe that at the moment until we get a clear trade setup, for example, get into the larger support area for scaling in. And then a C wave to the downside from up there. Okay, this would be one of the possible pathways. However, I did say that this is only really likely as long as we're holding the $53 level. We're getting very, very close to that level now. If we break below that $53 level, it gets more and more likely that the B wave has already topped. It would then be a very weak B wave. So it would have topped here, A, B, C, or it might then even form a WXY structure, because if this is really an ABC, where the A wave had 3 waves, then typically you would expect the B wave to be aggressive, okay? This is not necessarily the case when we deal with the WXY, which also is a 3-wave move, but then this would be the X was a WX, and then the Y wave would be a 3-wave move, okay? But we'll see. It's a bit too early to really confirm that. But yeah, I want to just emphasize here the importance of the $53 level. Any sustained break below that level will likely mean that we are rolling over more directly and come down faster, okay? So that means less of a chop, because this high B wave would take a bit of time. So it would be basically a fake out, and then we would come down later. So maybe Solana takes the direct path, but as I said, as long as the $53 level is holding, it's still very likely actually to see that higher B wave. But as I said before, earlier today, we have no evidence at all that this higher B wave is currently unfolding, or that the C wave in wave B, let's say it like that the C wave has started. because at the moment it seems to be moving down. There's a local downtrend, but it hasn't given us any evidence that a low is in place here. So the only fib level that's left is at $53. Below that, we only have the 22nd of November low as support at $51.40, and below that level, we're likely entering the larger orange support area for this main wave 4. And and if we get there, then I will certainly count the wave B as complete. So we need to be a bit flexible as always with these corrective structures, because these corrective structures, I'm simply tracking them at the moment for us to understand when this complete correction could be over. It's definitely not recommended to trade every single corrective wave. That's just not, it's just not working because they change so often. In corrections, wave counts change. Yeah, they adjust, they adapt, transform. We want to position ourselves basically for the next impulse to the upside, which could be that fifth wave. Well, the fifth wave would be an ABC structure because we're dealing with a larger diagonal. But again, the A wave might be an impulse in that wave 5 and the C wave. So, but we haven't even finished wave 4 yet. So let's do that first. Yeah, I just want to update you quickly about the Solana account. So hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then please check out the channel membership. Also, make sure that you follow us on Instagram and Twitter. There's additional content every single day. And you can find the links for those channels in the video description. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye-bye.